Alright, so yeah, in this video I'm going to cover how to easily quote power washing jobs, whether it's for flat surface work or for house siding wash, whatever the case may be, and some other tips and tricks. Also, I'm going to give you a couple of free resources online. But while we're on the topic, I get a lot of questions. People want to know how I advertise or what's the best way to advertise, and I don't. And so I've done videos on that, but I keep getting questions about how I was able to start this business last year. The last couple months of the season, got in on it late, and now I'm already got a trailer, and I've got someone working with me, and again, just doing it without advertising. And so again, how I was able to do that was using my ranking method to get my website up and outrank all the other competitors, including huge directory sites like Yellow Pages, Angie's List, Home Advisor, all of those. My site outranks all those, so I get all the traffic that I want and that I can handle, and all the business that I want and that I can handle. So if you're interested in how I do that, I put a link in the description, so just click on that and you can see how that works. So that way you don't have to worry about how you're going to get your customers or how much money you're going to need to have to put ads in the newspaper or any garbage like that. You can just use this method. All right, so let's get into it. So when I first started, one of the biggest question marks was how much do I price? How do I even figure out how to charge? And so basically we're going to use my trailer here as an example. And really what I do, and what most people do, as I have found, is they use square footage. So a lot of people are going to be able to give you this. A lot of clients, when they call you, you're going to simply ask, is it a two-story house? Is it a single-story house? And we'll use an easy example. Let's say it's a single-story house and they say it's about 1,000 square foot. Well, that's about as easy as it gets, because you're going to charge anywhere from 15 cents to 25 cents depending on the market you're in, and I will share with you how to determine that here in a minute as well. But let's say it's 20 cents. Well, then you're going to charge them or quote them about $200 for a simple siding wash on a single-story home that's about 1,000 square feet. And so that's how easy it is. And then you can invest in one of these. This one's a really cheap one, actually, by the way. But you can invest in one of these measuring wheels, okay? This one kind of sucks because the wheels are so small, and when you're rolling it and the ground is uneven, it wants to bounce and lose contact, so it kind of affects the accuracy of the measurements. But watch what we can do here. Hold on. Go ahead and clear that out. So let's say I was going to quote how much I would charge somebody to do the surface on this trailer, which that would be silly. This is just an example. So this is a 5x8 trailer, so we're just going to measure this out. So hopefully this is 8 exactly, and then we will clear this out again. I know this is really elementary, but some people just have a lot of questions. So, and then this should be 5. Okay, so that would be 8 times 5, 40 square feet. And so if I was to charge 20 cents a square foot, that'd be about $8 that would charge somebody for something that size. But that's essentially how I would do it. Now let's jump onto my computer and I'll show you some more stuff. Okay, so now that we're back inside, let me clarify a couple things real quick. So the example I gave you with the trailer, and I just measured it out and came up with the $8 per square foot, that is a literal measurement of the square footage there. That's 8 by 5, and that's a flat surface. And so that's way more accurate than when you come to houses. So with siding, you're really just trying to get a general feel for the size of the home. So when you ask somebody, how big is your home, and hopefully they know, they say it's a single story, about 1,000 square foot. It's a rough estimate of the amount of time and effort it's going to take you to clean the home. It's not as accurate as, say, if you're going to go out and calculate someone's driveway, right? So now, what if somebody said it's 2-story? Well, then you can just charge a premium. So let's say if you're charging 18 cents per square foot, again, as a rough estimate in size for a single-story home, then you could just increase that amount and say, well, I'll charge 25 cents for a 2-story, or whatever you feel comfortable with or determine that's best for you. And if you're using a soft wash method and you're using proper equipment like second-story nozzles, then you should never need a ladder. Well, I shouldn't say never. Sometimes you may need a ladder here and there, but I try to stay off the ladder if at all possible. I've only had to use one a couple times, but I'll do a video on that later. But again, this is just a rough estimate. Now I have a tool here to help you determine how much to charge depending on the area you're in and the service you're offering. Now this is used from the customer end. This is called HomeWise, and basically this is really meant for people that are looking to have a service done, to come here and use this to get an idea of how much it should cost them, so they know if they're getting overcharged. So right here, I'll put a link to this in the description as well. But right here I picked exterior cleaning, and if we go down, we have all sorts of different types of services and surfaces even. And if we get down here to vinyl siding, we'll use this as an example. So let's see, cost to clean vinyl siding, and it's going to bring up this little calculator that you can use. Now as you see here, it has a zip code. Now supposedly this website can use the zip code to help determine the cost of a service in a particular area. I'm going to show you an even more accurate way to do that here in a minute. But let's suppose we live wherever this is. I don't know where 47474 is. But let's say we're going to do 1,000 square foot home. We can grab this and slide it roughly to there. And service total, $200. That'd be on the low end for this zip code area. And supposedly $265 would be on the high end. And of course you can get even more detailed and play with the cleaning products, the labor. Is your company licensed or unlicensed? In this case, unlicensed, unbonded. If you slid it this way, you know, you're bonded and insured, and of course the price is going to go up accordingly because, you know, people are paying for that security that you're an insured, licensed company or business. I do have an LLC. I do carry liability insurance. Would I charge $400 for 1,000 square foot single story home? I could charge it, but I probably wouldn't get too many jobs in my area. So again, this is going to depend on your location. And we can slide this down and it'll give you like a 2-level home, and it'll adjust it accordingly. So you can play with this until you get comfortable, you know, using your own judgment. But let me tell you 2 other ways that you can determine this. You can just basically do trial and error. And as you get quote requests, you can determine, well, I'm going to try 20 cents a square foot. And let's say you do 2 or 3 quotes and you don't hear back from them. You may be overpriced for your market. So the other way to determine that is on the lower end. If you're doing 15 cents a square foot and everybody's going with you, then you might be underpriced. And here's the thing, you don't want to be underpriced. It's a little bit better to turn some jobs down because you want to be on the higher end. You don't want to be the cheap guy, you want to be the quality guy or girl. So that's one way. At the beginning you're gonna, you know, hit and miss. But here's another way to do it. You can look up power washing companies in your area. You know, a lot of them are going to have websites or ads in the paper. And if they say they offer free estimates, you can simply have them give you a free estimate. Hopefully, a lot of them can give that to you over the phone. Just as I said before, if you just give them the square footage of your home, and let's say you live in 1,000 square foot home and it's a single story, and someone gives you an over the phone estimate and they say, yeah, it'll be about $250. Well, then you know that they're charging about 25 cents per square foot. So that might be a good place to start then. Just be aware that some people charge flat rates. That is, they might say, if it's a single story home, I'm going to charge you $250 whether it's 500 square foot or 2,000 square foot. That's not a good way, in my opinion, to go about running your business, because you're either going to screw yourself or you're going to screw the homeowner. That is, if you have somebody with a 500 square foot home and you charge them $250, and then you go across town and you do a home that's 1,500 square foot and you again charge them $250, the person in the 500 square foot should be pissed because they paid the same amount for a home that's 3 times the size. So in that case, when you did the smaller home, they got screwed. When you did the larger home, you got screwed. So again, in my opinion, it's better to have a rate based on the size of the home or the size of the surface you're cleaning, and not to charge flat rates. Anyways, again, if you're interested in using this tool, there's a link in the description. And if you're interested in, again, how I am able to get all my customers for free, there's a link to that course in the description. So I hope this helps, and I will see you in the next video.